So security is a very big topic. I mean, I cannot go to any conference or any customer advisory council or even just a meeting with a customer without the topic of security coming up
Yeah,
somewhere,
absolutely.
because it's just in your face today. I mean, you turn on the news and you see somebody got hacked. You turn on read the paper and you see that a government agency has been compromised, or somebody's email has been read. I read it yesterday. The head of the National Security Advisory, I don't know what his role is, but his personal email account was hacked. His wife's
Wow.
Yahoo account was hacked. People were reading his private documents, and it's like really, really kind of everywhere today. And so security is on the top of mind for many of our customers. Whether they're small or large, it's something you can't ignore anymore, because it's out there. It's a threat. It's a persistent threat that's just kind of always on. And most of the companies that we come across, they don't have the sophistication or the budget or the resources to go fight that battle by themselves. They don't, they're not security companies. They're retailers, or they're plumbing company, or whatever it might be. And it's really hard for them to mount the defenses that they need.
Yeah. 5 years ago, probably, I was working at another company, and we were talking about security with a potential customer, and they were pretty worried about what were we doing to make sure that that everything was secure. And the thing that we said is, um, we are so concerned about your security that we have not just one person, not just two people, but we have entire teams of people
That's right.
who work around the clock to keep everything secure. And that's absolutely what we're doing here at Rackspace. That's what a lot of people are focusing on, is round the clock security, and really being top of mind in everything, security at every single layer. Yep.
Well, to put a fine point on the prediction, it was really that we're going to start to see more security delivered as a service.
Yeah.
And we're seeing that obviously at Rackspace, but I travel a lot. I go out to the Bay Area. I spend time with some of the venture capital companies, and they say the same thing. Security will be delivered as a service. More and more startups that are entering the market, not to sell you an appliance or a device or a piece of software per se, but to really sell you a comprehensive managed service around a particular area of security weakness, or a defense, or something like that. And I think Rackspace is uniquely positioned. We are a cloud operator. We are a cloud provider. We're a hosting provider. We're a managed services provider. We manage security for our own, to keep our own house in order. And now we're taking a lot of that expertise and applying it to our customer environments as well, in the form of our new security practice that we launched.
Yeah.
And so this is us kind of executing on this prediction, but I think you'll see more and more companies out in the market also leading the way there as well.
Well, kind of an advantage I've seen with the scale that we have and with the types of partnerships that we have, there's a lot of as-a-service providers that have a real targeted niche. Like, we're really focused on DDoS mitigation. Right. We're really focused on attacking the phishing problem, or any number of specific attack vectors. And with the types of relationships Rackspace has, and the types of scale that we operate at, and the reps that we get, bringing all those things together gives a nice holistic view to security, and being able to identify those new attack vectors as they come up, and not let them slip too far before they get implemented and protected against, goes a very long way. And so it was really exciting to see us launch the managed security offering. We had a partner palooza with all sorts of specific targeted security partners that came in and kind of showcased what they're doing to layer on top of that security, and it's really exciting.
Yeah, I think as I mentioned, Rackspace is in a sort of a unique position. We have the scale to go out and pick and buy and acquire, or just bring together the best technologies out there. There is sort of a critical mass that is required to get to the point where you can afford some of these security technologies. You can afford to run a 24/7 security operations center. You can afford to hire a top-notch chief security officer and a security team. And we've hit that scale long ago, and now we can apply those capabilities back to our customers. We're not so big that we don't pay attention to our customers and have regular dialogue with them, but we're not so small that we don't have the wherewithal to really bring that security capability to bear. And that security practice is really bringing all the things that we've learned, all the lessons, all the technology that we use that we find practical and useful in the defense of our own uh, hosting provider and in cloud operations, and really applying that now in a product form to our customers. And the beauty of that is that it's not a once and done point in time kind of a solution. This is an evolving solution because
Right.
security is evolving. So if there are new capabilities that make their way onto the market in the form of one of these venture-backed companies, well, we can bring that in. We can apply that to our customers, and we can do the legwork to go make sure that it actually does, really help solve the problem.
Well, and one of the things that was mentioned in the first prediction, that you're going to have really flat budgets. There's not
Mm-hmm.
really going to be a lot more resource to tap into for your IT needs, and security being on the rise, to be able to execute well against security without having to hire up a bunch of staff, really kind of hits on both of those. But
Absolutely right. I mean, I think that it's no different here than it is with the cloud expertise. Security
yeah,
expertise may even be harder to come by because it's one of those things that's almost a specialization that you have to go.
mhm,
You have to do a lot of studying. You have to actually spend a lot of time in the trenches,
the experience
and the
goes a long way.
experience goes a long way. And I think San Antonio, Rackspace's headquarters, is a great place for security expertise because we've got military bases on every corner of
Yeah.
us around here, and a lot of the Air Force Cyber Command, I mean, the headquarters for cybersecurity defense and offense, maybe,
Mhm.
right here in San Antonio, Texas. This is where they are born and bred
Mhm.
and really grow up in their security experience. So we've got a lot of those folks coming through, and also just the community around here. You really sort of you have to have that strong community to build up that experience, and it's something that we kind of take for granted here, but it's very powerful to have it in our backyard.
Absolutely.